While taking this yoga course throughout this semester, I learned that I am much more flexible than I originally anticipated. On the very first week when we did the fitness test, I was especially impressed with my balance when we did the tree pose, and I was able to hold it for 2 minutes on both legs, so I was really proud of myself about that. I do realize though that I am not as flexible, probably in my hips with my hip hinge and flexion and extension and those sort of motions. And I'm also not that flexible in my back. Part of that I would probably contribute to the minor scoliosis I have in my lower back. So it makes it harder, especially whenever we sit on the ground and we do wide triangle while sitting down, and then slowly start to bend forward. I realize it's much harder for me, and I do feel a little bit of like tension in my lower back area when we do that. I suspect that's probably because my lower back muscles or even my muscles um, on the top of my glutes um, are much tighter than most muscles throughout the rest of my body because they have to compensate for that slight scoliosis in my lower back. Um, so just stretches like that, bending forward when laying down in the white triangle, even sometimes touching my toes, which usually I can do pretty easily for just how short I am. I feel tension there, and I suspect it's just because my spine is making it harder for those muscles to actually stretch out and be more flexible. So, moving forward after this semester, I would continue to just work on those muscles and try to get them to be more flexible, and maybe that would help with some of the back pain I experience throughout the day because of it. Continuing on that idea, I really enjoyed the restorative days that we had, as I'm sure most people probably did, especially the days when we utilized the blocks and we laid down either on our back or on one of our sides, and we were taught where to place the boxes, not the boxes, the blocks, so that it would be less strain on our back or other parts of my body. I've learned this as well can be used with a pillow. One of the examples I remember is us laying on our side and putting a block in between our knees while we're laying on either our left or right side. I found that to be very beneficial, and I integrated that into my everyday life. When I go to bed, I now sleep with a pillow in between my knees if I'm laying on my side, or underneath my knees if I'm laying on my back. So I think that was a very beneficial um, exercise and position to learn, especially for me and my lower back pain. I would also like to continue to work on my flexibility in my hips and my hip flexors to be more specific. Um, I think I am very flexible throughout my legs. I think like at my hips, I'm more stiff. Part of that is probably contributed to soccer. I'm not sure. But I would like to continue to work on that moving forward throughout the rest of my life. Um, Ankle mobility, or the days where we just took a few seconds to massage our feet. I love those days, and I think those would be very important tools for me to continue to work on as I grow older and even in this next year, because next semester I am preparing to run a mini marathon. So making sure my feet and my ankles are healthy and loose and not strained, it would be very important since I'll be putting a lot of miles on them. Um, and then looking back, one of the days that I had the most fun was one of the days when we took the big like long rollers and we propped it up vertically, and then we tried to balance our feet on top of them without touching it, where we had our arms out and we had to lift our leg up and put it on top of the roller. Um, I thought that was really fun, and I was proud of myself for being able to do it and keep my balance. Um, so overall, I think what I learned from this class is my balance is uh, very good. I guess above average, I would say. Um, but I would like to continue to work on flexibility, especially throughout my back, lower back to be more specific, and my hips. Um, However, overall, I thought I was able to um, complete a lot of the poses that we learned in class. I was just constrained a little bit because of some of the tension that I experienced in my lower back. And then finally, with the fitness testing, overall, I was very pleased with my results to begin with. Obviously, we haven't done the ones at the end of the semester yet, but I'm hoping for improvement. Um, in particular, the one that I would like to improve on more is the one where we hold the strap and we go over our head and back behind us, keeping our elbows straight. I would like to hope that my hands were able to move a little bit further in and accomplish that movement in the same manner. Thank you. I love the class.